Good evening. Namaste. The divine in me recognizes and honors the divine in you, for truly we are one. So we come together tonight in this oneness to remember the truth, to allow the spirit that is just waiting to bestow gifts, to open consciousness, to bestow its gifts as we open our consciousness. So we're glad you're here sharing this. Let's start with our gongs. We'll do 3 of them. Allow the sound of each of them to take you into your breath and into the now in this moment, for that is where the fullness of God is. So it is. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday night Amazing Grace service. So glad that you're here sharing this with us, because it's very important that we spend as much time as possible remembering the truth, anchoring ourselves in consciousness, shifting our awareness, and raising our vibration, if you will, to that God consciousness. For it's in that, it's in our human life and all the stuff that we do that can bury us, that can take our attention, take our focus. It's kind of hard to live in this world and to do our everyday activities, our jobs, our driving, our dressing, our eating, and those types of things without it grabbing our attention. And sometimes we forget to get out of the little picture and the little doingness of things and to step back up into that broader perspective, into the truth. And that's what the spiritual journey is about. It's about remembering. It's about applying to every single thought, every activity, as Michael Beckwith was talking about in the reading tonight, mindfulness. In fact, the spiritual journey is about awareness. It's about, consciousness is about being awake and aware. It reminds me of that Buddhist saying, which we've said many times, where people have gone to him and said, oh, are you a master, or are you a guru, or are you enlightened? What are you? And he said, I am awake. And that is our journey, to be awake. In every single thing we do, our words, our thoughts, our steps, is to know that God consciousness and spirituality and our spiritual growth, if you will, it doesn't just happen all at once. What happens is that as we hear an aha, or as something really resonates with us, and we hear different every single day. We can hear or read the same books or the same things, and we pick up something different every single day because we're different every day. But as we hear those ahas, it's almost like bricks of a building that's being built, or in a foundation. That as we hear them, and as we contemplate them, and then as we implement them, and as we speak them back into the world, then what happens is it becomes us, and we change our frequency just a little bit at a time. So that's our journey. Tonight we're talking about that you were born to create. And we're talking about the difference between creating and making. It's often misunderstood in this teaching. We know that this is an abundant universe. We know that we can have everything we want, starting with the buried basics of science of mind, which is a parking spot that we can create and we can make, but we understand that. But one of the things that we have this false illusion about is that we think that we have to use our willpower or our hard effort of thinking to make it happen. But the truth is that it's already there. It's already in existence. Abundance is. As Michael Beckwith says, 100% of spiritual growth never is about getting. It's always about releasing. As Dr. Hugh Lin speaks about, as he talks about Ho'oponopono, and I've shared this with you before, but it's a great visual, is that God is the flashlight. and that's shining forth. And we are a pane of glass that's right in front of the flashlight. We are a pane of glass. So therefore, in this pane of glass, it's completely clear. There's no obstruction. The light just shines right on through. That's who we are. And then we all have, to different degrees, as if you hold the glass and the flashlight through it, and if you were to put a finger in front of the flashlight, you can see how the light starts to get obstructed. And on the other side of that's obstructing the light is our life. And those things that are obstructing it are our programming and our beliefs and resistance and stuck energy that's within us. And it's different for everyone, which is an indication that it doesn't have to be, that it's ours that's there. So if 100% of spiritual growth is about releasing, it's about getting rid of those things that are in the way of us being these conscious or these unobstructed creators. The definition of creating really is the flow of God, or the flow of life flowing through us unobstructedly. It's not about making it happen. Making it happen or making a manifestation usually involves some idea that we have that we've seen before. So it's a finite idea. It's in this expression. And then trying to find the parts and the pieces that we have to get to put together to make it. And so there's a real difference in that, because that requires your effort and your willpower and just the limited awareness or wisdom that you have to make that happen. But in creating, what we're doing is we're opening up, because there's this infinite intelligence, there's this wisdom that already knows, that's already flowing, that already is. And so in creating, what we're doing is we're opening our whole being that's open and available to what wants to move through us, to the life that wants to move through us, that's available to us. There's a process called visioning that is just that. It is about seeing or recognizing, let's say that we're wanting more abundance in our life. Let's say that we would really like to be having more dollars, which will buy cars and houses and food or whatever it is that we want, that we know that it's an abundant universe, there's an infinite supply of it, and I want more in my life. So if we're really wanting to create that, knowing that it already exists, then we're trying to release anything that's in its way from allowing it to flow through and as us. So from that perspective, in this flow that's happening, we go to spirit, and we, instead of going and saying, okay, that means I have to go get a job and I have to have this kind of job with this kind of pay and this type of thing, instead of going out into the world and looking how it's recreated, we go to spirit, we go to this infinite, wise, intelligent universe, and we ask the question, what is it that I need to be? What is it that I need to express in order for the greatest flow of abundance to move through me? And we ask. See, that's way different than thinking and figuring it out ourselves and going and making it happen. We ask, what is it that needs to unfold and be revealed through and as me for abundance to flow? What is it that I need to become? What is it that I need to release? What is it that is wanting to express through me? There's no question that we ask the universe that we don't get an answer for eventually. We may not hear it right away, but if you continue asking, what that does is it sets in motion an energy, it sets in motion an availability, it opens the awareness to such a degree that we start receiving information. When we ask and open-endedly ask, that means we're available, we're looking, we're aware, and we're calling forth from the universe what it wants to deliver from us, something that is bigger and greater than our finite mind could ever even have thought of. It's a principle of being open and available, which is way different than being narrow and so singly focused on what you're trying to create. The universe has it. God has it. It's right there. It's waiting for an open consciousness from which to deliver it through. It is us that is slowing down the blessings and the gifts. They're there waiting for us. So how do we become open? How do we become aware? How do we become available for our good? One of the things, and probably the most important thing that we can do, is shift our awareness and our vibration. We ask ourselves the question, where do we spend the majority of our time? In our thoughts, in our knowingness. You know, sometimes we think it's this whole quantum soup thing, that all this creation is happening consciously and unconsciously, and we have no power of it. But as we become aware, we start noticing, what am I creating? What am I calling forth? Where are my thoughts? And what are the principles? This just happened in my life. Okay, so we already know, and because we've talked about it a million times, that it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. The quantum perfect mixture that I am has called forth the perfect circumstances and the perfect experiences to create exactly what I need to take me to that desire, to what it is that I want. Because we think that things are being created unconsciously that might be going against us. But the truth is well-being is so powerful. Our desires for wholeness and health and abundance and grace and relationships and joy and peace and harmony, that is so powerful. It is what we are made of. It is calling forth from the universe exactly that, consciousness-wise. And so when we look at what we are creating, number one, we know without a doubt that it is absolutely perfect, and what is unfolding is taking me where I want to be. And so we look at it and we resist not. The biggest thing that we do is when we see a creation that we've created that doesn't feel really good, is we resist it. We were like, whoa, no, not that. What did I do? No, I don't want that in my life, you know. And when you look at it, that's kind of a silly thing because it's already happened. So to resist something that's already done is kind of funny. You know, it's kind of goofy. It's kind of worthless, really, because it's already done. So what we're really resisting is the energy or the way that it makes us feel. That's what we're really resisting. But we resist things that are happening in our world. And what we're learning through this teaching and through the greater spiritual leaders that's being echoed over and over and over again, that it's not about resisting what's in front of us. It's about loving and embracing. It's literally stepping into, not pulling away, but stepping into what is there, knowing that the divine is in it, knowing that it's all going to work out, knowing that this is taking me where I want to be, and moving into it and embracing it with love, which is way different than what we do. We usually resist it, we try to ignore it, we stuff it, we do everything but when we have stuff happening in our life that doesn't necessarily feel good. But what we know in healing, with diagnosis of illness, whether it's cancers or whether it's heart issues or whether it's whatever the issues are, or even challenges with abundance, or any issue, relationship issues, or whatever it is. But let's use health as an example. When we get a diagnosis of something, let's say cancer. When we get a diagnosis of something, normally we move into that space of fear, and we move into that place of resistance and fighting it. You hear that all the time. We're going to fight this. But the truth is that as we started this, everything, the wholeness already exists. Healing already exists. The peace that we want already exists. If this has come forth in our life because it's perfect circumstance and experience to take us to where we want to be, our good is already in it. It already exists. So we don't want to fight it, and we don't want to push against it, because what that is a fear. That's trying to make myself healthy, make myself whole. And in that making, what happens is that in reality, it is an affirmation to the universe is saying, I don't believe I'm whole. I don't believe I'm healthy. I don't believe that. So I'm going to fight against it to make it happen. So what it's really telling the universe is, I believe in struggle. I believe in challenge. I believe that something has power over me. I believe that I have to fight this. And so the universe just says yes. That's why people have so many challenges in being abundant or healing or that. Because when we say, I have to fight it, when we resist it or we push against it, the universe just says yes, yes, yes. It only says one word, yes, 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 yes. So when we take our situation, we go, this is the perfect situation. Nothing can really harm me. This is the perfect situation. It's not happening to me. It's happening for me. The perfect situation that's going to take me where I want to be. And so then we step into the God consciousness of it. We begin to see eyes that starts looking not for the challenges, but looking for the miracles. We have eyes that look and see the people that show up, the good that shows up. We look for that aspect of peace that starts coming over us. We get eyes that see the miracles that are happening all around us. You see, because the experience that we're having or the challenge that we're having is just a vehicle that's taking us to peace, to wholeness, to greater consciousness, to greater awareness. So when we ask for healing, it never is about fighting. Whether it's healing of our finances or our body, it never is about that. It's about stepping into the vibration of the Most High, which is God. It's about stepping into truth. It's about realizing wholeness. It's about doing everything in our power, whether it's going to services or reading or sitting with practitioners or whatever it is. It's doing everything in our power to remember the truth, to remember wholeness, to remember God, to remember faith, to be in love. As the statement says, love, which is equivalent, it's synonymous with God, is the vibration of the Most High. Love brings with it healing. Love and God is an opening of our soul and every cell and every part of our being. And when it is open, life flows and good flows and wholeness flows and healing flows. So it's kind of counterintuitive. When challenges happens, we constrict and close, but it's really going the opposite and seeing God right here, right now, in its fullness, flowing, knowing that nothing can really harm me. Nothing has more power than me. I love that saying. It's been in my mind lately that Carolyn Mace says, that she says, no piece of meat is going to determine the destiny of my soul. You know, and somehow we get all caught up on whether we eat this or eat that or eat this or it's going to do this. And it's like, no piece of meat's going to determine the destiny of my soul. You know, and the same thing, you can say the same thing with illness or abundance or a relationship or anything. Really, is an experience or an event going to determine the destiny of your soul that is eternal, that has been around for thousands and thousands and forever and years? I don't think so. So when we look at these experiences, you know, when we look at those things that are unfolding and we look at that stuff, we look at what we are creating. What we want to do is we want to create from this open, flowing place, not from a make it happen because I'm afraid or because I need to do it myself or I need to use my own willpower. It really is the opposite. In fact, so much of spiritual learning and spiritual teaching is counterintuitive. In fact, a lot of it is what they say or what they've said for so long to do. It really is kind of do the opposite. Do the opposite of what we hear. I don't want to say that it's counterintuitive because it's really not. Deep down, we really know. I love the saying because it brings it right to the surface. Feeling good is feeling God. So we know that when we're feeling good, when we're in alignment, when we're not resisting, when we're having faith, when we're knowing that this too shall pass, when we're knowing that we are powerful, that this is an abundant universe, that I am God in expression. I literally am that pane of glass that the flashlight is shining through. No big deal if in my humanness I've put a few things in the way that's kind of shielding the light. It's just like a cloud. It's just temporary. It has no power over me. That when I step into my God consciousness and my truth and my love, I become that light that is so powerful, it can shine through any cloud or any obstruction or anything that's in the way. In fact, it dissolves it. We don't have to go in and figure it out. We don't have to go in and fix it. The light, as we signify in these candles here, the light dissolves the darkness. It just goes away. You don't have to do anything. It just goes away. You raise your vibration. You have a consciousness and awareness of truth. You live in this space of love. Your eyes and what you see starts to see awe and beauty and all of those things. You just become that. That's who you are. That's what you claim. That's who you are. And all the other stuff just goes away. It just disappears. It just isn't there. Sounds easy, but it takes practice, and it takes focus, and it takes a commitment, and it takes diligence, and it takes time to stay in that awareness, that God consciousness, that God awareness, that beauty, that peace, that love. It takes every emotion that you have, because we're human, we'll have them. It says, okay, what's the truth of this? What is really the truth of this? You know, when something happens and we think somebody's done something to us or shifted something to us or that, we can say, I have created this. I'm the creator of this. This is absolutely perfect to take me to where I want to be. What is showing up for me in this that I need to know? When we go forth and we want the abundance and the love and the relationships and all of that, we go to the universe and we say, I am open, I am available to receive more good than I could ever imagine ever before. What is it that I must become? What is it that I must release? What wants to express through me? I am open and available. That is our prayer. And the universe answers us, and it floods through us because it is just waiting for an open consciousness from which to reveal its good through. That's who we are. So when we say you were born to create, what we're saying is you were born. You were placed here because you are the physical manifestation of that non-physical essence that we call God. We were placed here to be that instrument through which is available, is in, through, and around us always, has a vessel, a vehicle of which to flow through unobstructively out into the world or out into creation, human creation. As Abraham says, we are on the leading edge of creation. New things are being birthed all the time. Brand new things are being brought into existence. Now, everything that was necessary for them already existed and was there, but it takes an individual and a consciousness and us in our own beautiful and unique ways to bring these gifts forward so that people can experience them and see them and life can expand because of it. So we were born to be on that leading edge to bring forth something that is brand new in our own beautiful, unique way. And it's right there waiting for us. It's open and available for us. And so as we open and as we ask, we receive more good and more clarity and more truth and more peace. Because the bottom line of what we all are asking for is peace. Is to deeply, deeply know in every cell of our being, no matter what happens in our world, no matter what diagnosis we get, no matter what our bank account looks like, no matter what happens to the ones that we love, what we really, really want is to know that all is well. And what we really want is to know and to trust God. And we want peace. Peace. And that is guaranteed. Guaranteed in every experience. Think about it. Anytime you've had a strife and you've worked through it and you didn't we resisted. But when we finally work through our resistance and we've gotten to the middle of it or to the end of it, the experience didn't change. What happened didn't change. We changed. And where did we go to? We went to peace. We went to acceptance. We went to understanding that we thought it was going to hurt us and it didn't. So we no need to resist. We just need to know that we never walk alone. That we are made, that the strength of God is right there always. Strength is right there. Think about it. Every time you've needed strength, didn't you have it? Courage is right there. Every time we were afraid and then the event came forth and you needed courage, didn't you have it? Peace is right there. When you thought you were maxed out with stress or whatever was happening in your world, right on the other side of that was a peace and a rest, whether it would put you to sleep or whatever it did. We always return to peace. It's who we are. And so I once was blind, but now I see, and as I have eyes to see the truth and the activity of God as my very life, then I know that I stand on holy ground, and that which moves through me and as me is God in expression. So I allow it to flow unobstructedly to the very best of my ability, knowing that every step is guarded and guided, and every step is taking me to exactly where I want to be. And the beautiful universe is delivering unto me exactly what is necessary in experiences and unfoldment so that I can have the glory and the peace and the abundance and the wholeness that I am. For it is never denied. Let us turn within. Taking a big breath. And releasing it. Recognizing that one power and presence, that loving God that is your God. It is 100% your God. And it is in that God that all gifts are unfolding and flowing through and as your very being. For no one is left alone. No one is denied. It is flowing abundantly right here and right now. It's unconditional. Even if we don't accept it, it just comes from a different angle until we finally realize the fullness of it, for it was there all along. And so it's with a faith that is full and growing and unfolding that I just give thanks for this truth as I allow it to be, as I sit back and surrender and trust. For God is and I am, and I claim it. And so it is. Amen. Let's do that. Let's move into the light together. Let's bring all of those names spoken. And let's bring all of those sweet, loving hearts that spoke their name, that brought them to prayer. Let's bring this beautiful seaside community, this community of which we're living in, this wonderful, full United States, all of those elected officials and those that are wanting to be elected and all of those that are involved in the ongoingness of life. All of those that walk this planet. In fact, let's just open our being to know that all of it is the vibration of God, the activity of God. That right in the center of all things that are unfolding, of every life, of every name spoken here, of each of us, right in the very center of it, there's this intelligence that knows exactly what it's doing, that cannot be denied, that is pulling each individual into a greater space of love, a greater space of peace, a greater place of harmony, a greater place of wholeness. That it is the truth of our very being. That there is one power, that power is God, and that power is good. And it is my life, it's the life of every individual here, and every name spoken, and everyone that walks this planet. And so it's with this awareness and this consciousness that I know that those that have forgotten can borrow our faith, can borrow our consciousness, that a high consciousness, a vibration of the Most High affects thousands of people. So I stand in truth and in knowingness for every individual, their wholeness, seeing only that. And so it's with a heart that is filled with love. It's with an awareness and a faith that is unshakable that I give great thanks For this God is magnificent. It is absolutely beautiful. And it is wonderful to be a participant in its beautiful unfoldment as my life and the life of those around us. So I just give thanks, and so it is. Amen. May you always feel the embrace of God. May your life reflect joy and peace and abundance. May your heart radiate with love, and may the light shine. May you know that your every step is guarded and guided by God's amazing grace. For it is in, through, and around us always, and in all ways. God bless us all. Go forth in peace. Good night. Thanks for being here.